Oh, yeah.
Bless and love, my lords. Welcome to another live interview by Red Lion. We have an incredible spaces for you coming in today, so hang tight. Of course, we are joined by Dudley, the co-founder of Red Lion. How's it going?
Hey, welcome to the show, everyone. Hey, stoked for this one. Yeah.
Yes, we have an incredible audience and a more incredible guest. For this week, we have Alex Salnikov. Sorry if I mispronounced, the co-founder of Rarible, also known as Insider OX. How's it going, Alex? How are you doing?
Hey, hey, so good to be here. You nailed it. You didn't miss the pronunciation. It's awesome. I'm so happy to be here in the company of OGs. You both have CryptoPunks on avatars. I'm not sure if that's I'm not that immersed in the ecosystem of CryptoPunks. So I struggle to define if that the original ones or that's some kind of creative derivatives. But
No,
either
we
way,
are we are
Oh, hey.
originals. We are originals,
Well,
Alex.
and
yes.
truly OGs. Hey, nice to have you here, Alex. My first mint was on Rarible, man. Actually, it was the first platform I
It's
ever.
a great honor to have you
Yeah,
here, man.
exactly.
I have a lot to say, but thank you so much for coming.
It's a great honor to be here.
For those of you who don't know, when I started the Gazette and Red Lion in general, it was on Rarible, and one of the reasons, and I have said it in many times on interviews and on other shows, that one of the reasons the Gazette started as it was actually the weekly Rari reward. So I needed something to mint weekly. But we will get into that in a little bit. So let's start with you, Alex. And I don't know how much you want to share about your background and your story, but if you could tell us a little bit more about that, your professional career before you found crypto, and since you found crypto.
That's the best part of it. I did not have any professional career before I found out crypto.
Fuck
I
yeah.
found out, yes, I found out about crypto during my second year in university, or even the first year in university. It was back in Russia. I studied economics. I studied computer science in the Higher School of Economics. That's the best Western pro Western liberal university in Russia. Um, and before that, I was doing a lot of just online gigs as a kid. I tried to earn money, and I realized that the system is not great if you're a kid in Russia trying to accept any money online. Every second platform asks you for a passport. Like every platform asks you for a passport, and every second of them denies you if you're not from the Europe or US. So that felt oppressive. And whenever I discovered crypto, I was like, finally, this is how it should be. As an internet native person who grew up on the internet, got used to the freedom of the internet, and finally there is a free currency that gives me freedom the way it should be. I was bought from the first glance, right? That directly answered my need, and it was technical. It was the win of technical people over economics people. So it was sold over, fell down rabbit hole, never done anything else.
Man, I can totally identify with that. A lot of people do not realize how it feels to be excluded from the financial system, or like be partially included only like in a few things. It's really liberating when people who have those struggles find crypto.
Absolutely, yes.
How old are you now, Alex?
I'm 28 now.
Wow, so young. And when did you start with Rarible?
uh 3 years ago.
So around did Rarible start on 2020?
It was November, end of 2019, November.
Yeah, because like I was starting back then in January, and I remember Rarible was there. So how did you end up from falling in love with crypto and the whole notion of cryptocurrencies and like the cypherpunk movement? So how did you went from there into NFTs and from that to start your own marketplace so early on?
It was a long road. It was a long road. At some point, I calculated that me and my friends pretty much did 10 startups before Rarible that died at different stages of its existence. Either there was a name, there was a pitch deck, there was first round, then there was something else, then there was another one. Maybe it died on the idea of a pitch deck, but the 10 different ones that had a name for it, that was named, and the name and branding usually comes first, an idea. So we did trading, mostly did trading tools, because at the beginning you couldn't do anything else. Before existence of Ethereum, it was only crypto and only financial use case, no smart contracts. When Ethereum came up in 2017, we created a platform that allows you to create your own ERC20 tokens, and there was a lot of projects that were launching their token sales and other things they needed to do to have their own ERC20 tokens. So that's what we did in 2017. And the Rarible was born in the bear market after 2017. So today's bear market, don't be afraid. Bear markets are the best times to start something new, because they usually, in the bull market, everybody just scales whatever works. And in the bear market, you kind of have to think about what's next, and there is a lot of ideation and new things are created. So we were looking at the space. Okay, what's there? What's next? We spent a long time in crypto. We did a lot of trading, and it almost felt a little bit boring at the time and a little nerdy. Okay, 0.1% APY, NFT, BTC, CRV, curve pool. It's hard to scale. And there was always an idea that in order for Web3 to succeed, we need real scale. We need millions of people using that on a daily basis. So what that can be, there was this nascent space of NFTs, and there was almost no NFTs. And that's why we created a tool that allows you to create NFTs and sell just simple listing with a single sheet of, okay, everything that is created, you can buy anything out of that. That was the approach. That was the idea. Okay, there's no NFTs. There's many people probably coming. There's Ethereum at the bear market in 2017. Ethereum felt like the new technological platform that will power the next generation of apps. Pretty much the same it feels now about L2s. There is this feeling in the air. Okay, the next bull run will have faster blockchains, and this faster blockchains will emerge the new generation of use cases. And back then it was the same. It was the same feeling that there is some infrastructure just came out that allows some more cool things to happen. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
Sorry, my earbuds went blank for for this answer, so I completely missed it. I just cut you off at the end. Okay, you don't need to repeat it. I will hear it back on the recording. But yeah, so just to give some context to people, when back in 2020, when Rarible was still fresh. I think it was around April when I found out about it. Maybe February, around that time, I started fucking with it and minting my first NFTs. There was nothing else around that you could like launch, mint your own contract. You could mint your own collection. You could create your own collection, and you could choose to do ERC 11. 45 or whatever it is, or ERC 721, and it was really, really cool, super easy. And the reason I started using it before the Rari drop and being active there, firstly, was that you could launch your own stuff. There was no other place that you could mint your own NFTs. I mean, there was Super Rare, but it was gated and known origin. You needed to apply. OpenSea didn't have minting, and the other reason it was super, super fast. Like you could load your wallet and you had immediately all your NFTs. Back then my wallet just had only a few, so I could load them very fast, and I really loved that. But did you expect launching in 2020 that by the, like as you said, you were launching on a bear market and it was something completely new. I mean, basically some competition to OpenSea, but like OpenSea wasn't even a big business back then. And yeah, you guys launched in 2020. Did you expect this explosion in NFTs by the end of the year?
Of course not. Of course not. There was the vague idea that the NFTs are cool and that it's fun, and it was a learning project for myself as well. I wanted to build something useful, some consumer grade product that is great, that is feels amazing to use. We spent a lot of time just arguing, okay, what should be the word on this button to make it accessible so you instantly get it intuitively. Where should this button be? Okay, just behavioral. You click here where you would expect to click next. Oh, it's gonna be here. But instead of that, I see it on top, so it doesn't feel like I want to look there. Let's move it. A lot of tweaks like that was just how do we make it feel nice to use that product? How does it make it consumer appealing? And that was primarily drive. So very, I almost want to say mission driven, but not mission. It's like love driven. You know, we built it because we loved it, and we started to talk with community, and we've seen pretty much 100% month to month growth. It was $100 sales a month. First month was $100 sales. Second month was $200. Then there was $400, and it was 100% month to month. It's a great sign for startups, but it felt very slow. By seventh month of our existence, it was May. We had a huge spike, 30,000 a month. Somebody bought all the early Azinachi art. So a whole collection. It was wow, that's insane. It was May, yes. And in June we launched Rare Reward, and then it all just went through the roof.
In June, or was it in August? Maybe earlier than
July
August.
13, I think, was the date.
July 13. Okay,
yes.
All right. So man, like in this early space, like before you launch the rewards and basically kickstart the mania with the Rari token, then like before you launch it, I'm curious, did you say, okay, yeah, well, people can wash trade and that, but like for now nobody will care, the marketplace will keep going, and like we will add safeguards later on, or you wanted that mania from the people to dive into the rare rewards and buy and sell?
We wanted the mania. We did not want the wash trading. We were aware that this can happen, but early days in the startup, we always had an MVP approach. We were, let's do it and let's see what happens, and then we'll think about what's next. We'll just fix it somehow.
Yeah, fuck around and find out, right?
Yes. That was it. So we launched the Rare Reward, and we knew that's gonna spark attention. We knew that liquidity mining program, the DeFi, showed some successes. It's the same idea. It should work. It should generate this liquidity black hole of sucking it from other places. Yes, there is this loophole, but okay, let's deal with it later.
I love it, man. It was. I wanted to make a thread recently that maybe, of course, I'm personally biased, but one of the most pure like NFT periods, even though it was fueled by this Rari mania, was actually those Rari days, because like all of those artists came into the space. They were relatively new and some established, and they were selling. So like this whole market was moving with the artists and with all the participants, and it was magical. I mean, like everybody was like grinding the marketplace, and okay, the community was much smaller. It was one thing, but it was like everybody who was selling their works. And like what fascinated me, and I wanted to share on my on that thread that I need to make, was that people actually scrolled the fucking front page of Rarible and bought art from there. So I thought that was like incredible, man. Like people didn't know you, they just checked the art and they were buying it. And that was a big success, looking back, just the discoverability of
Yeah,
the art.
I can confirm it was my case actually. I just found this platform that is free to mint. So yeah, I just took some art, put it up, and less than a week there was a sale, and I was running to my waifu back then, girlfriend, and was like, "Oh, hey, I just sold something for like $100. It's amazing what's going on." So exactly, it was really spark of this like movement, I would say.
Yeah. And for me, man, like I was there involved in the marketplace, and then the right reports come. And like when I was grinding them and I was getting the weekly reports, I was growing and
It feels like
more things to do. And I wasn't selling that shit. I was holding it, man.
Hey, Red.
And like I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell it when it's $10, and people were making fun of me. But yeah, and that was actually the first good money I made. Like after I started trading with NFT. As I said, I'm personally biased, but it's like it was felt like a very pure uh, period for NFTs. The enthusiasm was there. How was it? How did you experience it from?
Hey, Red. Can you hear me, Red? You seems your butt's probably disconnected or something. It seems you're in on an internal microphone, or are you messing around with it somehow? You there? Hello.
it feels like the bots did reconnect. So
sometimes. Oh, what?
probably the bots.
What's going on
now.
Elon is, or maybe spaces are messing. I think probably Red wanted to ask, how did you were feeling about that movement kind of back then?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's good, man.
Yes. No,
Something is wrong.
good.
1 second.
It felt absolutely magical. All right. It felt magical the same way and pure when honest creators are earning honest money for their digital stuff, saying thank you. It was pandemic. They're like, I lost my income, and now I can recreate that income stream with my work that I was my hobby maybe, or I've been dreaming about turning my creative talent into work stream. So very pure. A lot of creators just supported each other. It was, okay, I'm buying this, I'm collecting this, not because I want to sell it 10x, but because I want to support this creator who did something beautiful, who made it into this world. And um, it's there was a mania feeling too, but a lot of excitement about the future possibilities. The ownership didn't exist on the internet before, and it started to exist. So you instantly start imagining, okay, what can we apply it to? What else can we apply it to? Let's apply it to tickets. Let's apply it to something else, to all sorts of ideas, to DeFi, to passwords, to everything. Well, funnily enough, we've only seen those ideas to work now, like Lens, that uses NFTs for followers and posts, and it was all thought about back then. So definitely very warm feelings of something wholesome, something fundamental happening. Not the market was healthy.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're here.
Where did you miss me last time? I was talking a lot. I'm so bummed.
Okay. I don't know, man. You were kind of like going away or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going on a tangent, wasn't I? In
Probably.
any case, yeah, but this is where I was going to end up. How was it? How did it feel from his side? Because he
Yeah.
was like on the inside, yeah. So you were on the inside. So where did the Insider OX came from? The name.
Oh, it's a good question. It came from my school years. There was a weird project online. It was called Insider Revelations. It went viral sometime, and the premise for that was that some guy or a group of people claimed that they are running the world as the world, government. This conspiracy theory about the world government, that some group of people like hiddenly controls everything. So it was called Insider Revelation, and just phonetically, this word was appealing to me, and also this idea of an anonymous person who came out to talk about something. It had the cypherpunk vibes in it, and I liked the idea, the premise of it. I was even more concerned about being anonymous, and now I'm a public person. Back then, I had this idea that everybody should be anonymous. We should hide behind our nicknames on the internet, because it gives us new identity. It doesn't matter who we are, and that uh, it's bad to give out your data. People spying on you. People can control you through ads. Well, all that stuff that is all part of cypherpunk culture and community. So that's why I like the Insider. And over time, when Ethereum came out, and this uh, this preposition of OX 0x started to be widespread, it evolved into Insider 0x.
When did you buy your first Ethereum? What was the price?
Funny. Let me think about it. I don't fully remember. I remember
not
Ethereum.
buying. Maybe you made your first Ethereum, right?
Yeah, made. I probably made my first Ethereum. I made my third. I remember I had a payout from a company, and there was you could choose. You get a payout in BTC or ETH, and ETH it was probably beginning of 2017, and ETH went from 10 to 40, and I was all right. That's too late. I'm not gonna take that because it's already bubbly and it's gonna
It was
crash.
different back then. Yeah.
Like acid, it made 4x.
So around the time that Ethereum was 10 to 40 dollars was when you started going into it, right?
Yeah. I probably went into when it was a couple hundred later because I chose not to get in when it was 40 because it's too much. So I went in when it was a couple hundred, but yeah.
That's similar to my story. I was gonna buy it at $11 for $1,200. I was telling Luca, "Oh, we should buy it, man. You put 1,200, I put 1,200, we buy it." And then it went to $13, and I was being a smartass, and I told him, "Let's wait till it dumps." And yeah, I bought it at $80 to $90. Was like my first purchase then. But yeah, the FOMO was real. And uh, after this whole mania with rare rewards and the whole community and NFTs exploding, what we saw a lot of changes with Rarible, a lot of updates. What sort of direction and like how did you soft pivot into a better direction?
Yeah. After mania comes life. Token incentives dry up, the mania stops, and you need to provide a consistent business value to people that is defensible and that is sustainable. So there was an art market that is fundamental, sustainable, and defensible. You can do just art. And there was a feeling that NFTs are so much bigger than just art, and that there will be a lot of new use cases for NFTs. That PFPs was starting. In general, we wanted to power the items for metaverse kind of narrative and thesis that everything is going to be an NFT in the digital world. And we also just, even when we were doing platform for art, we wrote an indexer that showed you all your NFTs, not only art NFTs, all your NFTs in your wallet. That was our core competency to build technical solutions such as indexers. So the next, we decided to expand on that and to index just all NFTs across all the chains. We went to Flow, to Solana, to Tezos, Polygon, indexed all of those chains to be a multi-chain marketplace. And we learned that it is still kind of fragments the experience. You need to have 5 wallets. There is no multi-chain wallets yet. So this vision was too far away from being reality. Probably multi-chain world comes to us in 3 years, 5 years only. And because we have all the NFTs on the platform, and that's our indexer, our technical part is the core competency, we decided to expand on that and to power the next generation of apps. We said, okay, there's going to be a lot of new use cases, and different use cases require different UX. For art, you want to have big pictures. For PFP, as we now see it, you want to have a chart. You want to have a big chart to understand if you enter at the right price.
It's like they trade like shit coins, right?
Yes, they trade like altcoins, like ERC20. So let's create a protocol that would power all that. And that's what we did, and that's what we still do. 2 years ago, it was just a year after Rarible existence, we went to the protocol infrastructure business. We expanded on our indexer, and we started offering that to different companies. Okay, you can build your marketplace on top of that. And mostly feedback was that, oh, it's still hard for us to build. Can you also build a marketplace for us? And that's how we came to the Shopify model. So now you can come to Rarible and you can use no-code tool just to click around and create your own marketplace, create your own community tool, to on your own, put it on your custom website, custom domain, and have a true home for your community that will not depend on other marketplaces that can cut your royalties or can delist you, deprioritize, reprioritize. Just being more in control of your own community fate and destiny. That is where we stand today.
I love it, man. Rarible was always the rebellious kid, and you guys have been rolling out experimental features. I mean, like you were not like afraid to experiment. You were also the first ones to roll out the messages. That was so crazy. When the messages rolled out, I went in there one day and I had 100 messages, man. Like that was crazy. Um, but yeah, the can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was having an episode again.
Yeah, you have a tick.
Yeah, but I've always loved how Rarible loves to experiment and push things forward, and I think it's an honest and cool marketplace that really is forming a community around it. Why do you think? Despite that, why do you think a lot of artists are not continuing to mint on Rarible? During the mania of 2021, everybody was minting on Rarible. They were ditching super rare to mint on Rarible. So why do you think artists kind of left? Was it because you guys pivoted to more of a marketplace approach?
It's a very good question. I think we were caught in the crosshair of we want to serve more than art, and we started to look at partnership with Web2 brands, with influencers. That there was crazy inbound. You can't believe everybody was writing to email. We wanted to drop Disney,
You were
TikTok.
the golden place to be, right? Everybody wanted to be there.
Yes, and we were in Russia, back in Russia still.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got tons of emails. Okay, Disney, TikTok, Gucci, Remova, Jennifer Lopez. I don't remember, probably not Jennifer Lopez, but you name it. And for us, it was like, wow, all these guys want to work with us. They want to make a drop. Let's facilitate that, because apparently they're big in that culture, that US culture. And then when we finally we moved to US, now I'm a year in New York. It was apparently here those guys are already dead. They're a past culture. and this NFT was a new culture.
I love it.
I was like, okay, interesting. So it's funnily enough, being online, being in Moscow, we were more on the forefront of US culture uh, than when we came here the first several months. It was revealing. So we should have just supported this grassroots community, smaller artists, uprising, creative, rebellious, and we just didn't fully understand how it all works.
I love it. I love the insight, man. Like looking back and hearing you explain it like that from your perspective. Now I totally understand like why Rarible did those things that you guys did. Like some influencer drops and some stuff. I was like, why, man? That's not cool. I mean, like, there's wonderful projects in here. Look at us. And I was like, but now that you put it this way, it's more humanizing. I totally understand it.
Yes. So a lot of things, like, it opened some opportunities for us too. Now we have quite good relationship with Web2 brands, and during bear market we can build the marketplaces. That is a good support for our business. And we are massively getting back to the core community that does innovative things. We are reopening the experiments on just if anyone wants to make a cool drop that isn't supported by the platforms, we're ready to work with like hands-on approach to create a custom smart contract for that, and to shake some trees.
Oh man, I will be so happy to see, Rarible coming back to the surface with those moves, and I'm excited for it, man. I think right now I mean, we all as a community or as a NFT space, we were really mature back then, like everybody. And probably unready to handle all that business, but like after years of like growing and developing, I'm very excited for what comes next from the second round of experimentations and pushing it forward.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that too. What's hot in the market? Where do you see these experiments going? Reverse questions.
Yeah, there are some interesting stuff happening here and there, but it's very, very hard to, even for the people who are running those experiments, to understand if something is actually working or not when they have no feedback. So I would say the interest is super low, and the good experiments that could work maybe get abandoned. And I would say that the focus has shifted a little bit, but I think it will go back to quality and sustainability and longevity, rather than ephemeral gains and pump and dumps and all of that. The industry will mature and it will evolve, but there is not a ton of experimentation. Recently, I think Ray was talking to me about a platform where they're doing limited editions, and there is a raffle for a one out of one for the buyers. I thought that was cool. But uh, there is not a lot happening, or at least mm, not towards the direction of something that would make me really excited. What do you think? Is there something that makes you particularly excited?
One thing that makes me particularly excited is we had explosion of CryptoKitties even before we started. And those NFTs, they were complex. They were living creatures on chain with the DNA that can exchange its traits when you breed two NFTs to make a third one. Man, we went all the way back to plain NFTs that are just sitting and doing nothing. And now we see, oh, Doodles want to do an NFT that you can attach the socks to the picture. Okay, you can compose something. Yuga Labs is doing other deed where the new things get worn in your other side land, and you can like find avatars there. Or when you play with the sewer pass and you get a rank, it updates the metadata that shows you your rank is higher, and it can then, I don't know, sell it for $1 million. Or then you lick the toad and and now it's bright and psychedelic. So we're seeing some mechanics added back to the NFTs that make it do stuff, that make it fun. And it's always hard to create something digestible enough not to overcomplicate and overthink everything. And that was the success of plain images. I feel like dynamic NFTs are on the rise, and this even checks were changing its metadata every day to feature a new artist. Right, that was done. There is something about changing. There is something about living, about this item to accumulate some knowledge, some memory of the world.
Yes, they are definitely on the rise. Gazers, burners, and art like that that changes over time seems to be winning collectors over. But as you said, going back to the roots, CryptoKitties had DNA. You could breed them, and now we are seeing that um, projects are giving tools and are creating tools to do similar things, and I'm very interested in that. We saw Manifold just by launching the burning mechanic, just a simple mechanic that everybody wanted. How more interesting just what with this one little thing, how more interesting things got. So yeah, it will be fun to see how all this gamification of all this innovation will move forward. Um, Everybody seems to be enjoying that aspect, I think.
Yeah. Um,
Especially now in the bear market, it's as I said, it's very hard to innovate when there is like so little feedback. And yeah, people don't seem to be interested in NFTs, but the moment the markets turn, like the mania, the mania will come back. Everybody will be so busy. How you deal with those market cycles yourself?
well, in the bull run, I think I started my first Bitcoin was at $60, but that was my food money. So I had to sell it back for 120 just to eat food, you know. Um, so after that, we've seen 100 to 1,000, then back to 200. And there was very prolonged period after getting to 1,000 of, okay, Bitcoin is slow. It's trading at $200. After initial excitement, pretty much nobody needs it. So there's always this vibe of complete desperation during the bear market. Like, okay, nobody needs that. That was all stupid idea. This is the real world. It's done. And this is why the prices are so low in the bear market. And then from 200, it went all the way to 20,000 in 2017. That was the highest craze. Just all the money thrown around, and then and it popped, and it went all the way back to 4,000 during COVID, the first days of COVID when everything crashed. And and I remember being 2019 in San Francisco at Blockchain Week, and the vibe was desperate. Like, crypto is dead. Somebody told me crypto is dead. I was okay. So it's hard emotionally. You lose big portion of your net worth if you weren't disciplined enough during bull run to get out, at least from some assets, to secure your burn, secure your runway. If you overspend, if you were happy, because in your bull run you tend to lose your mind with all that running around, and suddenly you being like 10 times richer than before. So discipline, right? It takes you can't trust yourself when things are going like that. You lose your mind over being rich, and then you overspend, and then in the bear market you lose stuff. And if if you weren't careful, then you need to think twice. Just emotional, it's a roller coaster. You need to deal with that. You need just butt up and sit tight.
Yeah, I think it's a new notion for people to have their net worths fluctuating and going up and down. But I think, I don't know, people might adjust to this new crypto reality. Dudley, do you have any questions?
Yeah, are you buying NFTs still, or what is the last NFT you bought and
He
when?
bought a Gazette 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, true, man, and he also one of the first buyer of your experiment back then.
Yeah, and on the first cover, he was on the first cover of
Oh,
Gazette.
true. Yeah, it's on a Origin Gazette, the one and only. Yeah. So how often are you looking at the marketplace and buying some stuff randomly, or just for fun, or do you have time for it?
Not often. The last NFT I bought was an NFT Pass from NFT Now. It's a membership. I like it. It was a couple days ago. The mint was a couple days ago, so fairly recent. And before that, I bought a Max Azeris NFT, Max Grifters.
Oh yeah, I have one of those too.
And before that, I grabbed something from Dust Monkey. Yes. So it's like random collecting behavior. Whenever I feel something to have utility, I did bought a couple PFPs, a Doodle, a Meffer. I like a Meffer, just vibes. They're cool. Sometimes I buy something that's dropping on Rarible. We did a McFarlane Toys, 150 years old toy company, dropping NFTs. I have one of those. Ledger Market Pass. That was one too. I bought Xcopy recently, the Max Payne.
Nice.
It's an entry level, the cheapest and most affordable Xcopy you can get.
I was also minting the X copies on Rarible when he was dropping them.
Oh, you still have them?
No, I sold them because, the one I really liked it was on the Rarible General contract, and I was like, I don't know if I should keep that.
Yeah.
But the other ones he minted, I think, a separate contract. But yeah, what was the case with that? That was an early mistake, or were we all so ignorant about it? Or how did that happen with the general variable contract? What was the idea to launch a contract and everybody can launch on that storefront just to avoid the expenses of launching a collection?
Yep. The gas fees were pretty high for launching a collection. In retrospect, it now feels that it's very important to have your own contract.
Yes.
Back then, it was okay. Maybe there was just one, and people would differentiate by authors because the most of the Rarible navigation in early days was by author. So you clicked on the author, the creator, and the leaderboard, and you've seen him. All his work.
Yeah.
And that leaderboard was so cool, man. So mania. I still have screenshots. I'm there.
I also
Even before I was a punk, I have screenshots. I am on the leaderboard.
But even Red Lion was occupying the top spots for some weeks. Yeah, when we were dropping the subscriptions and stuff.
Yeah,
so we were
that
there.
Was also really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to ask one more thing. Is there any maybe progress in how to avoid minting stolen art, or with the AI progression and stuff? I mean, I always say anyone who's asking me how it was back then, I say, you are not OG if you haven't bought stolen art.
Art.
and it was the case.
But we even bought stolen art 3 months ago, Danny, remember?
Because we are too generous and too kind. Oh, that's another story. Yeah. But I just want to ask if there are probably a lot of support tickets going on with this. So is there any progression how we can avoid it, or
That's a good question.
Stolen art?
Yeah. I mean, it's still going on.
People finding art on the internet and minting it as if it's their own.
Yeah, minting from Behance or Instagram or some. This was big case. Is it still big case, or
the market moved a lot from that? Now everybody thinks in terms of collections, and usually you have a collection in the leaderboard. Or it's much easier to verify collections. We verify collections. You can apply for verification for the whole collection. And it's much less of an issue now, just because you need when verifying author is much more difficult than verifying a collection. And I think that back then it was easier to sell art. Today it's hard, even if you're a genuine artist.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Now it's hard to sell even original art, not just stolen. So
stolen. Yes.
Yeah, and there's so many really good and talented artists around trying to sell. So yeah.
But man, that era was so cool. As I said at the start, you put your artwork and or whatever you fucking minted, it would go on the front page, and people were shopping from there. And there were people, myself included, who would delist NFTs and relist them so they can just go up there again on the spot. You had to pay gas for that,
Yeah, exactly. I also did it to push it up.
To push it.
Yes. Exactly.
It's the promo tax. That was so cool, man. I really loved that. I think maybe what about discoverability, Alex? That was like what ticked me over, and since then we haven't seen any innovation on that. And I think it's something that people desperately need in the space.
Discoverability is a big deal. There's discoverability is a big question. Our leaderboard is the discoverability today, and it's funny enough that this discoverability of Rarible early days, it was so good, but it wasn't even intended to be good. It was we just need a place where you can find everything. Let's just adjust it by time. Whatever is minted gets on top, just because we need at least something. And this at least something was much better than everything else that we tried to make intentional after that. Let's discover like this, let's discover like that, let's do following. And pretty much we have working leaderboard, we have working leaderboard, we have working following discoverability on super rare, we have curated discoverability on foundation, and nobody yet came up with anything better than that. There's no good algorithms. I think following for art specifically, following based discoverability is probably the best. Yeah.
There has not been a lot, and I would love to see more on discoverability. Filtered art by OMZ, wonderful project. They're doing lots on that, but yeah, we need more, man. Like that's why YouTube is so valuable because it has such a great algorithm and it recommends you what it has to recommend you. You can find new creators, so it attracts new talent. People want to make it there. They feel that it's possible. But in this NFT chaos, it's really hard. Okay, let's take some questions. Let's open the floor. It's very nice to see we have questions. Hey, Alex, how's it going?
I don't know. There's two Alexes. I'm guessing you're speaking to me. Yeah, I saw you got Rarible in here. I used to use Rarible. I haven't really used them all too long. Blur kind of took all of my attention at the moment. But what unique features does Rarible have that is maybe missing from Blur or OpenSea at the moment? Why should I use Rarible instead of those two?
Yep. Today, that would be if you want to create your own marketplace on your custom domain name and have a ownership of your community. Don't depend on the royalty stream that the marketplaces can choose whether to pay or not to pay you. That's our approach today for the market.
Which collection would you say is the most popular one that has done this? Because I'm on here now. It says create marketplace. You can do on any blockchain. It looks like.
Yep. We have marketplaces for MFers, for RectGuy, for CryptoPunk V1. This is among this crowd. This is respectable for Abatas and Meta Angels and a couple others. And for a bunch of web, the biggest Web3 one would be Pixel Vault. They have 30 collections. It's very hard for them to be on OpenSea out of navigation standpoint. So they created their own marketplaces with us.
So Pixel Vault has an ecosystem made up of 30 different collections, and it's all like aggregated into maybe like one collection through Rarible.
It's aggregated through one marketplace. You can come to market.pixelvault.com and you'll see the custom-made layout featuring some of these 30 collections in different sections. One section would be comics, another would be DAO, heroes, and so like fully custom work.
This is actually pretty cool.
That's so cool. We can also use that, Dudley, because we have the same problem with our collection because it goes yearly.
Yeah, I mean, we are on a number of like 10, maybe more, even more contracts already. Yeah, because we started on Rarible we have our own contract, but we are Rarible. It's frozen metadata. Then we have another one from the year ago, and then we have fresh one just for gazettes, and not mentioning airdrops and other products that we are having. So
yeah, I wanted also to ask for the contracts that we launched at Rarible, is there any way that we can go and like do changes and stuff, or is it frozen? We just launched it and it's gone.
You can rename, change picture, but only on Rarible. So on chain, it's frozen. There's nothing you can do. You can just update the Rarible look and feel. You can update, I think, OpenSea look and feel, but nothing different than that.
Yeah, because we introduced our trades, and then we have now unified in our collection. But as it's spanning through free collections, we are basically we're just doing it offline, off chain on the website. But it would be cool to have it also on chain, unified and nicely neat. So that's probably. It's also ERC 1155. So. Maybe in the future
definitely be checking it out. I have to confess, like this was during this interview was the first time I heard about it. But just to fill in with context to Alex's questions, to Shilin Villen's question. So since Alex was explaining earlier that like when Rarible started, it rolled also a few experimental features, and they went from one thing to the next. At some point, they tried like since they started, like they went from art, then soft pivot a little bit to a marketplace, then a multi-chain marketplace, which was a bit too early for, and now they're creating this sort of direction, just to oversimplify it, to condense it a little bit. Okay, let's take another question from David. How's it going, man? Hello? Okay, can you guys
I can hear you. I think David got stage fright.
Okay.
Could you do a marketplace that could combine multiple blockchains? Like have like, a Solana NFT, Ethereum. It says here's Tezos. You could have like one website. I don't know how these websites. Do you need a web developer to create the website as well, or is Rarible making these marketplace websites?
So there is two versions. One of them is white label. When Rarible is making that website, usually that's for somebody for like Pixel Vault, when it's so custom that the builder doesn't allow you to do it. And there is a builder where you can just click buttons, no code, and get yourself a marketplace. And there is 2,000 marketplaces created with that builder. The builder is the latest thing. It's very early. It just started to support. We are in the private beta for multiple collections to be with the same marketplace. So as of today, it only supports one marketplace, one collection. And we're in private beta for multiple is the latest thing. That would be a no-code solution with which you would be able to create more and more different marketplaces moving forward, more customized.
And how much does it cost to set up a singular marketplace?
It's free.
Free.
But given how you ask your question, how much would you pay?
How much would I pay?
Yeah.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah, I guess it could be. So the benefit of doing it myself is that I can protect artist royalties. Is that what the benefit I get from doing this?
Well, you have control over your secondary and like over the whole output that you bring out into chain. Like you have like complete control of that marketplace, like all of your collections in one spot. So you don't have to, for example, manage that collection on OpenSea and that collection over there, and set the royalties here, set the royalties there. You can like protect it like that.
Okay. It's interesting. Yeah. It would be really cool to see like a marketplace, a singular marketplace that had, like, because you have the youth and DGOTs kind of on different blockchains here, but maybe making a marketplace that could support multiple blockchains, like on a singular website. So you didn't need to go, but that's just niche focused stuff at the moment. But I think it's really cool. So it's free to set up a marketplace. All I need to do is set it up on my own, obviously. But if I get the white label service, I get the Pixel Vault service, how much is that?
Pixel is an exception because they were the first, so that was also free. Now
Fuck, you should charge those guys, man. They got money.
We were testing that. It was a completely new business model. So now we're charging as it's custom. It heavily depends on how much you need to develop.
Does Rari have a role in there?
Today, no. No, today not. That it doesn't have a role. But the Rari has a role at the protocol, and whenever all the marketplaces come through the same protocol, so Rari kind of cuts through all these marketplaces horizontally.
I see. So in the future, you can also integrate it somehow in there.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's really exciting. I don't know if you guys have any more questions before we wrap it up. Anybody has any more questions? All right, cool. All right, that was it, man. Alex, thank you so much, man, for joining our show and for giving us this wonderful interview and those insights and information we didn't know about this whole Rarible story and your story. It has been great, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your questions.
And not only that,
great to have.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, but Rarible is the cradle of our project. There is no Rarible, there is no Red Lion. Actually, we met there. I was silly to buy his stupid shit, and here we are now. So
this is where we started. Yes,
exactly. So you are like our godfather or some.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, man.
Well, we will be printing your face forever because you were on our first issues. There's that. Well, a version of you because the years will pass. Well, thanks everyone for listening. This was really cool. The Gazette is up. Yes. The Gazette is out if you guys want to check it out. 0.01 minting price, and you also get the art drop, a free artwork by amazing artists. So we are documenting history every week through art and magazine covers. Tomorrow we have another exciting day with Killer Napkins, our art drop artist, and I think we had scheduled Renail for a punk stock, but I think that one is rescheduled, but I'm not sure. In any case, thanks everyone for listening. Big love. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Cheers.
Bye-bye.